Hi, so I wanted to do a couple of videos as we went along in this process. I'm going to adjust the volume here. Um, in the Divine Will study, just as little things to kind of pepper in or sprinkle in some information to give you prompts or to spur you in a way that might help you work with these energies. Now, we've just done the will to initiate, and it's a 30-minute meditation roughly. Plus, if you consider drawing the circle about us, draw the circle above us, draw the circle below us, and calling on the archangels and just calling in our spirit friends, it can go over a little bit. So I wanted to say a couple of things in my experience in working with these meditations, in my experience as a person who has practiced magic for a very long time. These are some kind of hacks for the process. So when you've done the slow version of the invocation and then you set aside the time to really feel, to be inquisitive and to really be intentional in directing your energy to draw those circles above, below, between, and to visualize, however you visualize, those archangels in those areas above you, beaming down that energy of protection. As you have done that, what you have done is you've sort of tuned into that frequency of energy that allows for you to tap into it with ease down the road. With any practice, the more you do it, the more you become physically comfortable with it, the more you energetically sync with it, the more it starts to show up in your energetic body, the more you emotionally become comfortable with it, the more the idea of it becomes easier, the more psychically powerful it becomes written into the world around you, the more divinely spiritual it becomes in your practice. Those might require some explanation, but I just want to say, as above, so below, as within, so without. The more that you do something, the more you practice it, the more comfortable you get with it, the easier it becomes, right? And with ease comes flow, and with flow comes power, right? And those things all sort of flow together in that way. So practice, practice, practice. If you're going to do something or anything, practice drawing the circle, practice undrawing the circle, practice releasing it, practice gathering up all the energy of it and putting it towards your goal vision or into the earth around you for healing, or sending it to something that you see in the media that might require attention, like Australia right now, like one of those things, right? You could do something with the energy when you're done. But the point I want to make there on that one is continue to practice the circle, continue to create that, because that creates a vessel, right? That creates a container for the experience while you're experimenting and playing in it. That in turn, over time, will create a stronger psychic experience. And as you become comfortable, it becomes easier, and then it really flows for you. So I just want to put that in there. Don't worry about, we've connected to the first ray, or the first will, the will to initiate, right? So that's a long meditation for you to sort of go back to in a pinch. So what I would suggest is doing each of those meditations as you come to them, as you get them, 2 or 3 times until you're familiar with them. Because again, the familiarity breeds comfort, the comfort gives flow, right? We want the flow because then there's greater access or ease to the magic. When you have an understanding in doing the long meditation, right, the longer sit, the 30-minute sit, you understand what it is you're doing and where you're going and what you're connecting to. You basically understand the method or the mechanic that's involved in it. The Redux version of that is the attunement process that happened in the will to initiate, which was those little donuts of light that flowed down, and one went down to the base of your spine, and one capped on the top of your crown chakra, and they sort of all lined up along your spine. However many you experienced, and whatever you experienced that was right for you, right? So that's an attunement process. So that means something has been placed energetically in your aura that is of or for the frequency of the will to initiate, right? The question is, what are you initiating, right? I think that has a broader, inquiry, like, what am I initiating in life? Like, it's kind of metaphysical. What am I initiating today? What am I initiating now with this video? What am I initiating, as I sit down to, like, have supper with my family or my mom or, my partner, whatever you're doing. It has the broad question point to it, but also it specifically relates to your goal, right? So you had 3 or 4 goals, 2, 3, 4 goals, whatever, that you started with when you began this program, and those were things that you were going to work with. The short version of tapping into the will to initiate, which we will do in just a second, is tapping into that power that's sort of gathered around the spine, right? Because that core energy, this core of light, this axis along your spine is designed to hold these energies. This holds our chakras, or whatever energy centers you recognize, because not everybody does chakras. So we'll just say energy centers, or places of energy or consciousness. And so these little donuts that resonate with the will to initiate are like little packs of energy that are just packed into your spine, right? Like, and so they're there to resonate this energy into what you're doing. So the philosophical questions, the metaphysics of it, are there for you to explore as you journal, as you are taking a shower, as you're walking your dog or your cat. Like, this is where you sort of like think about what that means, the will to initiate. And what does it mean if a great one gave you an attunement to initiate? What does that mean for you in these small moments of your life, right? That's important. But it also means that there is a set of tools that have sort of been implanted into your energy system that give you an instant access to that energy should you spend the time to sit and tap into them. Right? So my first point in that is, if you're versed and in the flow of tapping into that circle energy, and you can quickly draw it around you, above, below, between, and think about those angels on you, and then you thought about the alignment of your body and whatever energy centers that you recognize there, and that you were in alignment and flow. And I think everybody here is on the Patreon, so you've done the meditation with me already, or it's available there for you, this kind of light body reminiscent meditation, really, where you focus on the central axis of your energy. Maybe you draw a sphere of light around you that is your soul light, or your light of your higher self, and you center it on your heart. You feel the flow of that energy in your spine, and you know that there is a circle of light at the base of your spine, and there's a circle of light at your crown, and that this is an electric flow between those 2 points along the spine. You have tapped into this initiate energy. You have tapped into this divine will energy. So what do you do with it? So I'm going to grab something, which is something I should have grabbed when I first sat down, but I didn't. But it's the way that So it's the way that I helped to hold my goals. So what I did is I used a symbol that was important to me in my work spiritually and what I'm doing. And inside, and I put that, and inside I've written my goals there. There they are. So those are my little goals that we've talked about, that we shared with each other on the group. I added one extra, and I folded it up and I put it on a piece of paper with a symbol that was important to me. This symbol is not for you. You may have your own symbol. You may put a cross or a pentagram, or you may not put anything at all. That's just the way that I do it. It's entirely up to you how you would do that, but I put it on a piece of paper because this creates a physical tether for this energy in the world. I chose 2 stones that I felt worked best with my goal. So if you're curious about what that would mean for you, that means, like, say your goal was financial, you might want to choose a stone that has an attractive quality or a generative quality that might raise energy around that. But that could be true of any goal that you have, if you wanted to raise energy around it. I chose 2 stones of divine love, right? So I chose kunzite, which has this pink quality to it. It's quite the hunk that I got there. My friend Laura gave this to me. It's like probably not a stone I would purchase on my own because the cost of this is rather high. So I'm very blessed and fortunate to have it. And I've chosen another piece of lepidolite here. This helps to strengthen the energy field by soothing the emotional and mental bodies, removing static, and bringing peace, calm, love, and joy. So I put those together around my goals because those were 2 important pieces for me. If you wanted to get 2 pieces of those and sandwich it in your little piece of paper, then you have a little sandwich you can do that with. That's just fine, right? See my energy even just holding this? So what I'll do is I will hold this in my hands, right? If you wanted to just use a piece of paper, if you wanted to put it between, whatever worked for you, I'm giving you free reign to access your own divine wisdom and decide for yourself how this would look. This is how it looks for me. I hold this and I tap into my heart center. I feel that alignment in my body. I feel those rings that are the divine will to initiate. I feel that electric energy that's bouncing back and forth between them. And allow that energy to move through my heart, through my hands, which are part of the heart center complex, and radiate that energy through the stones into the writing and the paper. Initiating the energy of these goals, which is perfect timing. We're in January. It is the end of the wintertide of energies. We're moving towards spring. Life is going to begin to be initiated out of the seed, out of the root, out of the dark places into the light, which is stimulating it, right? So it's a perfect time to sort of like integrate this kind of practice into your thing. So the recap on that one was, I think a way to tap into that energy is to write your goals down, put them together in some way, put them in a pouch, draw a sacred symbol on them, maybe get some stones that might work for you, maybe wear an oil while you do it that resonates with that. If you are into essential oils, like, put something into a carrier oil, like what would be a good one for that one? Maybe grapeseed oil, because that relates to ecstatic energies. Or maybe olive oil, because that relates to the it's an old oil that was used to light flames, the light and the dark. Or maybe you put it into a hemp seed oil for its qualities to expand us into other states of consciousness. Or maybe put it into avocado seed oil because it's rich and nutrient and buttery and smooth and good for you. Play, that's the important thing. And then use that piece of paper, or use however you've put that together, and use it as a meditation piece to channel to tap into those energy centers and channel that energy into the goals themselves. I want you, if you do this, to keep the paper the entire time we're doing this process, even when it's fulfilling to continue to do it, to build upon the practice to do it this way. Other options that you can do, and feel free to ask questions about this, or to bounce off ideas that you may have in the group, or to me directly. I'm happy to say, like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, or like, why are you questioning yourself? You should just totally trust yourself, or whatever. It's just to sort of throw that out there as a thing. So there's long and short versions. Don't forget the long versions, though, right? Don't forget the moments when you make time to meditate. It doesn't mean that you necessarily re-listen to the meditation again for like the 12th time, but it does mean that you set aside 15 or 20 minutes to sit down to feel the energy in your spine, to align your body, to sit in silence or listen to music, to visualize those circles and angels facing north, and to tap into that divine will energy that's embedded in the spine, that you've contracted into yourself at this point, to work with your goals. And think about, allow your mind to wander and to feel and to play and explore the ways in which those goals can manifest, because that's a way to psychically and emotionally touch and feel the energy with the qualities of divine will. You can use this paper idea as one, or as I said, a pouch. You can use oils. You can make a vision board, any of those things. And then the short versions are, maybe you're in a rush, or maybe you're away from your home when you would normally do this, to just quickly and briefly visualize those things, right? Center your heart within them and tap into that divine will energy and ask, how can it be used to initiate what you desire in this very moment? So those are my tips for the first month of the actual using of the divine will energies. These are powerful energies. I want to say last thing that's very interesting, that when we started doing this, a very curious thing happened in the sky with Ursa, the star system, this dipper energy, these 7 points of light. When we began to work with this energy, when we initiated this energy, I'm not saying that we did it, I'm saying it's divine timing, that when we initiated this energy, one of those 7 stars went dim and began to flicker. And it's guessed. We're guessing right now. We're just guessing, as scientists are guessing, looking at the star, looking at this flickering energy, that it's beginning to go supernova. The particular star that's in there is actually called Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse. And so that's a phenomena that's happening in the distant galaxy. I think that's right. Is that the galaxy? It's our solar system, but is it the galaxy? I think so. I think it's in our galaxy. It's in the star system, and we can see it, and it's flickering, and it's happening, and it's been known as Betelgeuse that's how we've named it. So this energy is flickering, this power is dancing. Should it go supernova? Apparently we'll be able to see it in broad daylight, but we're not certain that that's going to happen yet. I just think that could be a point of meditation for yourself, to ask, what does that mean that this energy is happening now in this way? So, yeah. This is a YouTube video. It is private for this group only. I will post a link to the Facebook group, where you will probably have found the link for this. If you haven't started the Divine Will with this yet and you would like to, again, it's free. This is a kind of bucking the system. I'm not charging for any of these things. This is an offering. This is a gift. I technically do not think that the people who put this together would like that, so that's the reason that we're keeping it private. I want to know what you think, and if you want to join in, you could join in now. You could send me a message, and I can start to send you the meditations so you can catch up with us and begin to work with these energies as well. So anyways, happy January. I'm going to prepare for tonight's class, the Wheel of the Year, at A Love Bazaar, and we're going to talk about the gods, and I leave you with this divine will, and check in with me. Let me know how it's going. Post to the group, share your thoughts, and we'll go from there. All right, bye-bye.